Books. Truly one of man's greatest invention. Right after casinos. Fitting much information into a thin material, sewing hundreds of them with a cover and sold to the masses. Although it wasn't always as convenient as it is now to get your hands on one. Back then, the Mesopotamians used clay tablets. More time goes by, practices using the palm leaves was invented. Even more time passes and the Egyptians used animal skins, or what we call parchments and sometimes papyrus, to document their business. In fact, it wasn't until somewhere around the 1450s that a guy named Johannes Gutenberg introduced what we call a printing press during the Renaissance. The printing press had impacted Europe to the point of books becoming more accessible. Thanks, Johann! 4 centuries and a half later, we have typewriters, the machine that goes when you press on it. I quite like the sound it makes. Now, in the modern era, anyone can write a book with a phone, or a laptop, or a computer. And that's all the examples I could think of. An influx of books will need a place to be stored properly. And that's where the library comes in. Libraries are public spaces that is available to the community for anyone to access and find out about something they don't know. Or you could just Google them, bro. That's more convenient. Although useful, it is public property, which means you can't permanently take it home with you and let it sit on your shelf collecting dust. No. You go to a place that sells books for that. In other words, a bookstore. Specifically, popular. Located in a popular mall. But no, but for real though, it's in Surya Sabha. Anyway, nowadays, bookstores aren't really popular. Because 1, digital books exist. 2, people rather multitask and listen to an audiobook because they don't have time or money to sit down and read a book in the comfort of their own home. Or maybe they're just dyslexic. Probably dyslexic.
Ostavi Trag na putusom kami situ sunce gubi svoj sjaj bezvezda noć neće imat svoj kraj, da znaš kraj, da znaš.
Yup. So, popular now. This is the start of the review. That's a lot of books. What can I say? There's a lot of books. So, surprise, surprise! A bookstore has a lot of books. I think it has a few classics that I'll show later. I think you all will recognize this name, William Shakespeare, who wrote Romeo and Juliet, Othello, and this book that I've got, A Midsummer's Night Dream, or A Midsummer Night's Dream, whichever it is. Another cool book that I found, legendary pull, as the kids say, is this book right here, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's originally a French book written by the French that's set in Europe, the Mediterranean Sea, I think. I don't know much of it because I'm going to read it blind. Both of these authors are centuries old. So the English writing here, or I guess the English translation for The Count of Monte Cristo is gonna be like old, you know? But at least you can buy the dictionary. You can buy the dictionary to see what they're saying. Here's one book that interests me. From the title alone, I think it's funny. The name is Nightmare. The synopsis is basically Negeri Sembilan, Malaysia. Year 1998. 16. He shared other hard time adjusting to life. Continue to distress. Recurring nightmares of fires in a warehouse. Widespread prevention efforts all contribute to a sudden inquisitive Japanese cases that pig farms are where the disease first began. Rampant viral or aid Dr. Kao in his investigation of the outbreak's origin. So, yeah, it's basically Higurashi when they Popular has something else than just books, which are writing stationaries for arts and stuff. For example, these wooden colors, and then these paints. You can also get some rulers, and you can get calculators here, but they're very expensive. Of course, there are notebooks. If you're talking about stationaries like pens and stuff, they have quite the variety here actually, as you can see. Yep, there's these are Nerf guns. The dinosaur. These are weird looking notebooks. Well, that's popular. I rate this store an 8 out of 10. You guys should visit when you have the time and money. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video through to the end. Quick little note here. This video is rushed, as you can tell from the ending. That's all I wanted to say. Bye.